You are about to cross a threshold. Once you hear these words, your mind will not return to its old patterns. The door you're about to open leads to effortless wealth, the kind that flows as naturally as breath. This is not a trick, a secret, or a formula. It's the rediscovery of the divine law that governs all prosperity. You've carried it within you since birth. Tonight, as these words sink beneath your conscious mind, the old programming dissolves and a new pattern begins, one of ease, abundance, and radiant success. There is no going back, only forward into your wealth. Chapter 1. The Spell of Lack. There was a woman who lived in a house filled with shadows, not the shadows cast by objects blocking light, but shadows that seemed to seep from the walls themselves, ancient, inherited, passed down like silver or shame. Her grandmother had known these shadows. Her mother had walked through rooms darkened by them, and now they were hers. Every morning she would wake and feel the weight before she opened her eyes, the weight of not enough money, not enough time, not enough worthiness to ask for more. She had learned, without anyone speaking the words directly, that wanting was dangerous, that abundance was for other people, that the world was a place of limited resources, and she had been born on the wrong side of the divide. This is how the spell of lack operates. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't arrive with fanfare or formal declaration. It simply becomes the air you breathe, so familiar you forget you're breathing it at all. She would sit at her kitchen table, bills spread before her like tarot cards predicting an unchangeable future. The numbers always seemed to mock her. No matter how hard she worked, no matter how carefully she budged, there was always more month than money. Always another expense waiting in the wings. She began to believe this was simply her destiny, written in some cosmic ledger she had no power to edit. But here is what she didn't know. Every thought she thought about money, every feeling she felt when the bills arrived, every sigh of resignation, these were not passive observations of reality. They were active instructions to the most powerful force in her life, her subconscious mind, that vast, invisible architect that builds the circumstances of your life according to the blueprints you provide. And she had been providing the same blueprint every day for years, the blueprint of lack, the blueprint of limitation, the blueprint that said, "This is all I deserve, this is all there is, this is all there will ever be." The subconscious mind doesn't argue, it doesn't judge, it doesn't question whether your beliefs are true or false, helpful or harmful. It simply accepts what you tell it and sets about creating conditions to match. It is the most faithful servant you will ever have, and the most literal. When you say, "I can never get ahead," it hears a command. Create circumstances where getting ahead is impossible. When you say, "Money is so hard to come by," it hears an instruction. Make money hard to come by. When you feel the contraction in your chest as you look at your bank account, when you experience that sinking sensation of defeat, your subconscious receives these emotional signatures as clear directives about what kind of world to construct for you. This is the spell of lack, not a curse placed upon you by external forces, but a hypnotic pattern you've been living inside, repeating the same inner narrative until it calcified into what you call reality. But what is reality? Is it the immovable thing you've been taught to believe it is? Or is it something far more fluid, far more responsive to the invisible currents of consciousness than you ever imagined? Consider this. Before this moment, you have been under a kind of trance, a trance so complete you didn't recognize it as a trance. You thought you were simply seeing the world as it is. But you weren't seeing the world. You were seeing your beliefs about the world. You were seeing the contents of your own mind projected outward, like a film playing on the screen of space and time. And the film you've been playing has been the same one for so long, the film of scarcity, The film where there's never quite enough. The film where financial freedom is always just out of reach, always reserved for someone else, someone luckier, someone more deserving. But here is the truth that changes everything. You are not trapped in a fixed reality. You are trapped in a fixed pattern of thought and feeling, and patterns can be broken, spells can be dissolved, the hypnotic trance of lack can be interrupted and replaced with something entirely different. The woman at the kitchen table doesn't know this yet. She sits in her inherited darkness, believing the shadows are permanent. But something is beginning to shift. A question is forming at the edge of her awareness, quiet but persistent. What if everything I've believed about money is wrong? What if my circumstances aren't a reflection of external scarcity, but internal conviction? What if I've been telling my subconscious mind to create lack, and it has been faithfully obeying? This question is the first crack in the spell, the first ray of light entering a room that has been dark for generations. She doesn't have answers yet. She doesn't know what comes next. But something is stirring, an awakening. And in this awakening, everything, absolutely everything, becomes possible. Because once you see that your outer world has been shaped by your inner world, you realize you hold the power to reshape it, not through force, not through struggle, but through a fundamental shift in what you believe and feel and accept as true. The spell of lack is breaking, and you are waking up. Chapter 2. The Voice Beneath. Thought. In the silence between your thoughts, there is a voice, not the voice of your conscious mind, that chattering companion that narrates your day, makes your plans, argues with reality. No, this is a different voice entirely, older, deeper, more powerful than you've ever imagined. This is the voice of your subconscious mind. It doesn't speak in words, though it hears every word you speak. It doesn't argue with logic, though it responds to every logical conclusion you reach. It communicates in feelings, in images, in the wordless, knowing that shapes your body and builds your world. Joseph Murphy called it the builder, not because it constructs buildings, but because it constructs circumstances. It takes the raw material of consciousness, your beliefs, your habitual thoughts, your emotional patterns, and weaves them into the fabric of your experience, silently, constantly, without rest. Most people never realize this voice exists. They go through life believing they are at the mercy of random forces, economic conditions, other people's decisions. They feel powerless because they don't understand where power actually resides. But you're beginning to understand. Right now, as you read these words, your subconscious mind is listening, not with ears, but with a kind of attention that penetrates deeper than hearing. It's absorbing the emotional tone of this moment. It's receiving the suggestions embedded in this exploration. And most importantly, it's waiting for new instructions. Because that's what your subconscious does. It waits for instructions about what kind of life to build for you. For years, perhaps your entire life, you've been giving it the same instructions, unconsciously, automatically, through repeated thoughts and feelings you weren't even aware you were broadcasting. Money is scarce. I'm not worthy of wealth. Financial security is for other people, not me. I have to struggle to survive. These weren't just idle thoughts passing through your mind. They were commands to the builder, blueprints for your circumstances, and your subconscious mind, faithful and literal as always, created conditions to match. But here's what changes everything. The subconscious mind doesn't care whether the instructions you give it are true or false, according to external reality. It only cares about what you accept as true, what you believe with conviction, what you feel repeatedly, what you impress upon it through emotional intensity or persistent repetition. This means you can give it new instructions, starting now, not through willpower, not through forcing yourself to think positive while your deeper mind remains convinced of lack. That doesn't work. The subconscious sees through superficial affirmations. It responds to genuine conviction, to emotional authenticity, to the feeling tone of belief. So let's begin with a question, not a question you answer with your conscious, intellectual mind. A question you drop into the deeper waters and wait to see what surfaces. What have you been telling your inner mind about money? Let that question settle. Don't rush to answer. Just allow it to create a space of inquiry within you, because in that space, awareness begins to dawn. You start to notice the automatic thoughts that arise when you think about finances, the habitual feelings that accompany those thoughts, the stories you tell yourself about why money comes easily to others but not to you. These stories feel true. They feel like observations of fact, but they're not facts. They're beliefs. And beliefs are simply thoughts. You've thought so many times with such consistency that they've become crystallized into seeming reality. Your subconscious mind built a world around those beliefs. It arranged circumstances, attracted opportunities, or repelled them, influenced your actions and reactions, all in perfect alignment with what you believe to be true about money and your relationship to it. But beliefs can change, and when they change at the subconscious level, not just as surface thoughts, but as deep conviction, your entire world reorganizes itself to match the new pattern. This is not magic. This is not wishful thinking. This is the fundamental operating principle of consciousness. As within, so without. As above, so below. As you believe, so it is done unto you. Right now, you're moving from fear to curiosity, from resignation to possibility, from the assumption that you're a victim of circumstances to the recognition that you're the one who has been creating those circumstances all along. Unconsciously, yes, but creating them nonetheless. And if you created them unconsciously, imagine what you can create when you become conscious. When you deliberately, purposefully impress new patterns upon your subconscious mind. When you speak to the builder with clarity and conviction about the kind of life you want constructed. The voice beneath thought is listening. It has always been listening. It will never stop listening. Every moment it's asking, what do you want me to build for you today? Until now, you've been answering that question with the voice of lack, limitation, fear. But that voice is not the truth of who you are. It's simply a habit, a pattern, an old recording playing on repeat. And habits can be changed. Patterns can be interrupted. Old recordings can be replaced with new ones. Your subconscious mind doesn't resist this change. It welcomes it. It has no attachment to the old patterns except that you kept reinforcing them. Give it new patterns to work with, and it will build you a new life, with the same faithful precision it used to build the old one. The question now is not whether this is possible. The question is, are you ready to speak a new language to the voice beneath thought? Are you ready to give the builder new blueprints? Because the moment you are ready, everything shifts. Not all at once, perhaps, but with the inevitability of dawn following night, your outer world will begin to reflect the new instructions you're impressing upon your inner world. The builder is waiting. The voice beneath thought is listening. What will you tell it? Chapter 3. The Great Reversal. There is a law operating in your life right now as constant and reliable as gravity. You can't see it, but you feel its effects in every circumstance, every relationship, every financial outcome you experience. It's been operating since you were born, and it will continue operating until your last breath. This is the law of belief, and it works like this. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner convictions, not your wishes, not your hopes, not the things you say you want with your conscious mind while your deeper mind remains convinced otherwise. Your true beliefs, the ones held in your subconscious, reinforced by feeling, embedded in your emotional body, These are what manifest as your circumstances. This is the great reversal of understanding. Everything you've been taught has it backwards. You were taught that you need to change your circumstances in order to feel abundant. Get a better job, then you'll feel secure. Make more money, then you'll feel worthy. Achieve success, then you'll believe you're capable. But this is trying to rearrange the reflection without changing what stands before the mirror. The truth is precisely the opposite. Change your inner conviction, and your circumstances must change to match. Not might change, not could change if you're lucky. Must change, because the law of belief is not optional. It's not something that works sometimes and fails other times based on who's using it. It's a universal principle operating with absolute precision for every human being all the time. Imagine a mirror, a perfect, flawless mirror. Now stand before it and notice what appears. The reflection shows exactly what stands before it. If you want the reflection to smile, you must smile. If you want the reflection to be different, you must be different. You cannot change the reflection directly. Any attempt to paint a smile onto the mirror is futile. The change must happen with you, and the mirror will reflect it instantly, automatically, without fail. This is how your subconscious mind works in relation to your physical circumstances. Your outer world is the reflection. Your inner world of belief and feeling is what stands before the mirror. You've been trying to change the reflection. That's why it hasn't worked. That's why, despite effort and struggle and determination, the same patterns keep repeating. But now comes the reversal. Now you understand that you don't need to change anything external first. You need to change your inner conviction. Establish a new belief at the subconscious level. Feel it as real. Accept it as true. Live from it emotionally before you see evidence of it physically. And then the mirror of your outer world must reflect it back to you. This requires something that might feel strange at first. You must believe in abundance before you see abundance. You must feel wealthy before you become wealthy. You must accept prosperity as your natural state before prosperity appears in your bank account. This is not pretending. This is not denying reality. This is understanding which reality is primary. The physical world is secondary. It's the effect, not the cause. Consciousness is primary. Your inner world of belief is the cause, and the physical manifestation is the effect. Get this order right, and everything changes. Think of a seed. You plant a tomato seed in soil. For days, perhaps weeks, you see nothing. If you judged by external evidence alone, you'd conclude nothing is happening. The seed is dead. Your effort was wasted. But beneath the surface, invisible processes are unfolding. The seed is responding to conditions. Roots are forming. The future plant exists as potential within the seed, and given the right environment, it must emerge. Your belief is the seed. Your subconscious mind is the soil. The physical world is where the plant emerges, but it all begins with the seed. What are you planting? What have you been planting? Seeds of lack, worry, limitation, or seeds of abundance, trust, infinite supply? The subconscious doesn't judge the seed. It simply grows what you plant. And it grows with the same efficiency whether you're planting weeds or roses. So here is your first hypnotic suggestion, spoken directly to the deeper mind within you. You are now free from false beliefs about money. Let that statement resonate. Don't analyze it. Don't argue with it. Simply allow it to sink past your conscious mind and into the deeper waters of your subconscious. You are now free from false beliefs about money, those old convictions that money is scarce, that you have to struggle, that wealth is for others but not you. These are not truths. They're simply beliefs you inherited, absorbed, accepted without examination. And what was accepted can be released. What was learned can be unlearned. Right now, in this moment, something is shifting. The mirror is beginning to clear. The false image you've been seeing is starting to fade, not because you're forcing it away, but because you're withdrawing the belief that created it. You're pulling up the roots of scarcity thinking. You're removing the seed of lack from the soil of your subconscious. And as that old seed is removed, space opens for a new one, a seed of abundance, a seed that contains within it the reality of unlimited supply, infinite possibility, divine provision that flows as naturally as breath. This is the great reversal, from seeking abundance in the external world to recognizing it first in consciousness, from trying to earn worthiness to accepting that worthiness is your birthright, from believing you must struggle to understanding that the universe is designed to supply all your needs through channels you haven't even imagined yet. The mirror is ready. Your subconscious mind is ready. The law of belief is operating right now, waiting for your new instruction. And the instruction is simple. I am free. I am abundant. I am prosperous, not because of external conditions, but because this is the truth of my consciousness. This is what I choose to believe. This is what I impress upon my subconscious mind. And this is what must manifest as my experience. The outer world has no choice but to reflect it. That's the law. That's the reversal. That's the truth that sets you free. Chapter 4. The Wealth Frequency. Imagine you're standing in a room filled with radio waves, thousands of frequencies moving through the space simultaneously. Music, voices, data streams, all of it passing through the same air, occupying the same space, yet completely distinct from one another. You can't see these frequencies, you can't touch them, but they're absolutely real, and they're there whether you acknowledge them or not. Now imagine you have a radio in your hand. When you turn it on and tune the dial, you don't create the frequencies, they already exist. What you do is align your receiver with a specific frequency, match the vibration, and suddenly what was inaudible becomes audible. What was invisible becomes clear. The music was always there. You just weren't tuned to it. This is how abundance works. Wealth isn't something you create from nothing. It isn't something reserved for a chosen few. It's a frequency that exists right now, moving through the universe like all those radio waves moving through the air. Infinite supply is the natural state of the cosmos. There is no scarcity at the level of source, no lack at the level of consciousness. There is only abundance, endless, flowing, inexhaustible. But most people aren't tuned to it. They're tuned to a different frequency, the frequency of lack, the frequency of struggle, the frequency of not enough. And so that's what they experience, not because abundance doesn't exist for them, but because they're not aligned with it. They're receiving a different signal. Your consciousness is the tuning dial. Your beliefs are the settings. Your emotions are the indicator of which frequency you're currently receiving. And right now, in this moment, you have the power to adjust the dial, to move away from the static of scarcity and tune in to the clear, strong signal of wealth. What does the wealth frequency feel like? It feels like ease, like flow, like naturalness. It doesn't have the quality of strain or stress or desperate grasping. It has the quality of receptivity, of openness, of trust that what you need is already on its way to you, moving through invisible channels, arriving through unexpected doors. When you're tuned to the wealth frequency, you notice opportunities you used to walk right past. You feel drawn to take actions that seemed irrelevant before. You meet people who connect you to resources. You receive ideas that solve problems. Money comes to you not through force, but through alignment, through resonance, through being on the same wavelength as the abundance that's always broadcasting. Think of a tuning fork. Strike one tuning fork at a certain frequency and another tuning fork nearby, silent and untouched. will begin to vibrate at that same frequency. This is sympathetic resonance. The second fork responds to the vibration it matches. It can't respond to frequencies it doesn't match. It doesn't need to effort. It simply resonates when the right frequency is present. You are like that second tuning fork, and abundance is the frequency being broadcast. When you adjust your inner vibration, your beliefs, your feelings, your sense of identity, to match the vibration of wealth, you begin to resonate with it. You draw it to you not through manipulation or strategy, but through natural law, through the principle of like attracting like, through consciousness recognizing itself in form. But here's what blocks most people from tuning in. They're trying to receive abundance while simultaneously broadcasting lack. They say they want wealth while feeling poor. They affirm prosperity while emotionally resonating with scarcity. And this creates interference, static, mixed signals. The subconscious mind receives conflicting instructions and doesn't know which one to follow, so it defaults to the stronger signal, which is usually the one rooted in emotion and habit, the one you've been broadcasting your entire life. To tune in to the wealth frequency, you must become consistent in your inner broadcast. You must align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs into a coherent signal that says, I am abundant, I am prosperous, I am tuned in to infinite supply. This doesn't mean denying current circumstances. It means recognizing that current circumstances are the result of your previous tuning. They're the echo of where you were, not the limit of where you can be. The frequency you tune into now will determine what you experience next. So feel it now. Not as imagination, but as reality. Feel the wealth frequency moving through you. It's not far away. It's not in the future. It's here right now, waiting for you to align with it. Abundance isn't something you'll receive someday if you're good enough or lucky enough. Abundance is a state of consciousness you can access immediately by adjusting your inner dial. Close your eyes for a moment, take a breath, and feel into this frequency. What would it feel like if money flowed to you easily, if opportunities appeared naturally, if your needs were always met and exceeded, not as a fantasy, but as your normal state of being? Can you feel that frequency? Can you sense it? That feeling, that sense of ease, flow, and natural supply, that's the signal you want to strengthen. That's the frequency you want to stabilize in, not just in moments of meditation, but as your baseline state, as your default setting, as the vibration you carry with you throughout your day. And here's the beautiful truth. The more time you spend tuned to this frequency, the more your outer world must reorganize itself to match it, because your circumstances are always reflecting your inner vibration, always, without exception. When you change the station, you change what you receive. You're not trying to get abundance from out there. You're recognizing that abundance has always been here, broadcasting constantly, waiting for you to tune in. And the moment you do, the moment your inner frequency matches the frequency of wealth, the connection is made. The circuit is complete. The flow begins. You are tuning in now, right now, in this moment. The wealth frequency is no longer something you're seeking. It's something you're receiving. Feel it, know it, embody it, and watch as your world transforms to reflect this new alignment. The radio is in your hand. The frequency is clear. All you have to do is stay tuned. Chapter 5. The Inner Covenant. There comes a moment in every awakening when you must decide, not with words, but with your whole being. A moment when you either return to the old patterns, familiar, safe in their predictability, even if they're limiting, or you step forward into a new agreement with life, with yourself, with the source of all supply. This is that moment. What you're about to do is create a sacred contract, not a contract with external forces or distant powers, a contract between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. between your surface awareness and the deeper intelligence that builds your world, between who you've been and who you're choosing to become. This contract isn't written on paper, it's written in consciousness. It's sealed with intention, commitment, and emotional conviction. And once made, it sets in motion forces you cannot see, but will absolutely feel as they begin rearranging your circumstances to match your new inner agreement. Before we go further, understand what you're entering. This is not a casual wish or a hopeful thought. This is a covenant, a binding agreement with the higher law of supply, the law that governs abundance, the principle that ensures you are always supported, always provided for, always connected to infinite resources. The law has always been there, operating impersonally, waiting for you to work with it consciously rather than against it unconsciously. It doesn't judge. It doesn't withhold. It simply responds to what you accept as true and feel as real. And right now, you're choosing to accept a new truth, to feel a new reality, to establish a new baseline agreement about your relationship with wealth. Here is the covenant. I surrender my old beliefs about scarcity. I release the illusion that I am separate from source. I acknowledge that abundance is my natural state, and I consciously choose to live from this truth. Say these words now, either aloud or silently, but say them with feeling. Let them reverberate through your being. This isn't memorization. This is declaration. You're speaking directly to the builder within, the subconscious mind that will take these words and begin constructing a life around them. I surrender my old beliefs about scarcity. Feel the weight of those old beliefs beginning to lift. All the thoughts that told you money is hard to come by. All the fears that whispered you're not enough. All the inherited patterns that said struggle is noble and ease is suspicious. You're releasing them now, not fighting them, not suppressing them, simply withdrawing your agreement. They had power because you gave them power. And now you're taking that power back. I release the illusion that I am separate from source. There is a source of all supply. Call it what you will: God, universe, infinite intelligence, the creative power of life. It doesn't matter what name you use. What matters is recognizing that you're not separate from it. You're not cut off. You're not disconnected. You're an extension of it, an expression of it, a channel through which it flows. And when you recognize this connection, supply becomes as natural as breathing. I acknowledge that abundance is my natural state. This isn't a hope. This isn't an aspiration. This is a recognition of what has always been true. Before you learned lack, before you absorbed scarcity thinking, before you took on the limitations of family and culture, before all of that, abundance was your birthright. It still is. You're simply remembering. You're returning to your natural state, like a river returning to the ocean. And I consciously choose to live from this truth. This is the commitment. This is where the covenant becomes binding. You're not passively wishing for abundance. You're actively choosing it. You're deciding right now that your thoughts, feelings, and actions will align with this truth. That when old patterns arise, you'll recognize them as remnants of the past, not directives for the present. That you'll live from abundance even before you see all the evidence of it. Now take this covenant deeper. Place your hand over your heart. Feel the life force moving through your body. This is the same force that grows trees from seeds, that heals wounds while you sleep, that orchestrates the dance of planets and the rhythm of oceans. This force is abundant. This force is infinite, and this force is working through you right now. Say to yourself with quiet authority, I am supplied from the infinite storehouse of the universe. What I need comes to me at the right time, through the right channels, in the right way. I do not force. I do not struggle. I align. I allow. I receive. Feel those words settling into your subconscious, not as external suggestions, but as internal truth. This is your new operating system, your new default setting, your new agreement with life. The old covenant said, I am limited, I must struggle, there's never enough. And your subconscious mind built a world around that agreement. It kept you safe within the boundaries of your beliefs, even though those boundaries were prison walls. The new covenant says, I am connected to infinite supply. I am supported by the intelligence that created galaxies. Abundance flows to me naturally because I am tuned to the frequency of wealth, aligned with the law of prosperity, and in conscious partnership with the source of all good. And your subconscious mind will build a new world around this agreement, not overnight necessarily, but with the same faithfulness it showed in building the old world, day by day, thought by thought, feeling by feeling. Your circumstances will begin to shift, reshape, reorganize to match this new inner covenant. This is not magic, this is law, the law of consciousness, the law of belief, the law of attraction operating at the deepest level, and you've just activated it through conscious choice, through emotional commitment, through sacred contract with your own deeper mind. The covenant is made, the agreement is sealed, and nothing in your external world has power to break this covenant except you. Not circumstances, not other people, not the economy or the government or your history. Only you can break it by returning to old beliefs, by choosing fear over faith, by withdrawing your agreement. But you won't, because you've awakened now. You've seen past the illusion, you've understood the game, and once you understand, you can't unknow. The spell of lack has been broken. The inner covenant of abundance has been established. From this moment forward, you are living in partnership with the law of supply. Wealth is no longer something you chase, it's something you embody. Prosperity is no longer external, it's internal first, and the external must follow. The covenant is complete, the awakening is underway, and your new life of abundance has already begun. Not someday, not when conditions are perfect, but right now, in this moment, in your consciousness, where all change originates. Welcome home to abundance. Welcome home to your natural state. Welcome home to the truth that sets you free. Chapter 6. The garden beneath the mind. Beneath the surface of your conscious awareness lies a garden. Not a garden of soil and flowers, but a garden of consciousness, vast, fertile, infinitely receptive to whatever seeds you plant within it. This is your subconscious mind, and it operates according to laws as precise and dependable as those governing any garden in the physical world. In this garden, nothing is wasted. Every thought you think is a seed. Every feeling you feel is water and sunlight. Every belief you hold is the climate that determines what can grow, and what grows in this inner garden eventually manifests as the circumstances of your outer life. For years, perhaps your entire life, you've been planting seeds unconsciously, seeds handed to you by parents, teachers, society, experience, seeds of limitation, seeds of struggle, seeds that said money is scarce, that you must work hard for every penny, that abundance is for others, but not for you. And your subconscious garden, being fertile and impartial, grew exactly what you planted. It didn't question the seeds. It didn't judge them as good or bad. It simply received them and brought them to life with perfect faithfulness. This is the nature of the subconscious. It accepts what you give it and makes it real. But now you're becoming a conscious gardener. Now you understand that you have choice. You can examine the seeds before planting them. You can pull up the weeds of negative thinking. You can cultivate the soil of your inner world deliberately, purposefully, with awareness of what you're creating. Close your eyes and imagine this garden now. See it clearly in your mind's eye. The soil is dark and rich, ready to receive. The air is warm, perfect for growth. This garden exists right now within you. It's not a metaphor, it's a reality of consciousness, as real as anything you can touch with your hands. What will you plant here today? Imagine holding in your hands seeds of wealth, seeds of abundance, seeds of prosperity. They're small but potent, each one containing infinite potential. Each seed holds within it the fully mature plant, the manifestation of financial freedom, the reality of unlimited supply, the experience of effortless flow. Feel the weight of these seeds in your hands. They're real, they're powerful, and they're yours to plant. Now, with intention and reverence, begin planting them in the garden of your subconscious, one seed at a time. As you plant each seed, speak its name. I plant the seed of abundance. I plant the seed of prosperity. I plant the seed of infinite supply. I plant the seed of divine provision. I plant the seed of wealth magnetism. Feel yourself placing each seed into the fertile soil. Cover it gently with dark earth. Water it with the feeling of gratitude. Warm it with the sunlight of faith. These seeds don't need force. They don't need struggle. They need only the proper conditions, and your subconscious mind provides those conditions automatically, once you plant with clear intention and genuine feeling. In a physical garden, you don't dig up seeds every day to check if they're growing. You trust the process. You trust the soil. You trust the intelligence of life that knows how to transform a seed into a plant. The same trust is required here. Once you've planted these seeds in your subconscious garden, you don't need to worry about how they'll grow. You don't need to figure out the mechanisms. Your only job is to maintain the conditions, to continue watering with gratitude, to continue warming with faith, to continue protecting the garden from the weeds of doubt and fear. And what about those weeds? They'll appear. Old thoughts will try to take root again. Old beliefs will attempt to reclaim the territory. This is natural. This is part of the process. But now you're alert. Now you're watching. When you notice a weed of negative thinking beginning to sprout, you simply pull it out gently and replace it with another seed of abundance. You don't fight the weeds. You don't get angry at them. You simply recognize them for what they are, old patterns that no longer serve you, and you remove them before they can take root and spread. This garden requires tending, not anxious effort, but loving attention. Every day, visit this inner garden in your imagination. See the seeds you've planted beginning to sprout. See tiny green shoots pushing through the soil. See them growing stronger, taller, more vibrant. See them becoming the full manifestation of wealth in your life. Your subconscious mind responds to imagery. It speaks the language of pictures, feelings, sensory experience. When you visualize this garden regularly, when you feel the reality of seeds growing into abundance, you're programming your subconscious with precision. You're giving it clear instructions about what to create in your outer world. And it will create exactly what you've planted, not because of magic, not because of luck, but because of law, the law of consciousness, the law of mind, the law that says what you impress upon your subconscious with feeling and repetition must manifest as your experience. The garden is real. The seeds are planted. The growth has already begun. Your only task now is to tend this garden daily, to protect it lovingly, to trust that what you've planted will emerge in its perfect time. Beneath your conscious mind, in the darkness of rich soil, your future abundance is already growing, already reaching toward the light, already preparing to manifest as your lived reality. The garden beneath the mind is yours, and it's blooming with wealth. Chapter 7. The Language of the Subconscious. Your subconscious mind doesn't speak English or Spanish or Mandarin or any language made of words. It speaks something far more primal, far more powerful. It speaks the language of feeling and image, emotion and sensory experience. This is the only language your subconscious truly understands, and when you learn to speak it fluently, you gain access to the control room of your entire life. Words alone mean nothing to the subconscious. You can say, "I am wealthy," 1,000 times, but if those words aren't accompanied by the corresponding feeling, if they don't create a vivid internal image, they're just sounds vibrating in air, empty shells. The subconscious hears them and does nothing because it has received no real instruction. But combine words with emotion, infuse them with genuine feeling, and suddenly they become commands. They become programming code written in the language the subconscious understands. They create neural patterns, activate hormonal responses, set in motion the invisible forces that will reorganize your external circumstances. This is why affirmations fail for most people. They repeat words mechanically, without feeling, without imagery, without conviction, and then they wonder why nothing changes. Nothing changes because nothing was truly impressed upon the subconscious. The message never penetrated past the surface level of conscious thought. But you're going to do it differently. When you speak to your subconscious, you're going to engage your entire being. You're going to feel the truth of what you're saying. You're going to see it in your mind's eye. You're going to inhabit the reality you're creating as if it already exists. Because to your subconscious mind, which doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined experience and physical experience, it does exist. Let's practice this now with something specific. Think about bills. For most people, bills trigger immediate contraction, anxiety, the feeling of burden, the image of money flowing out, leaving them with less. And every time they feel this, they're instructing their subconscious, money is something that leaves me. I never have enough. Financial obligations are threats, and the subconscious obeys. It creates more situations where money leaves, where there isn't enough, where obligations feel threatening. But what if you changed the language? What if, instead of seeing bills as burdens, you saw them as blessings? What if you transformed the entire emotional and visual experience? Try this. The next time you see a bill, pause. Instead of the automatic reaction of dread, consciously choose a different response. Look at that bill and think, this represents services I've already received. Electricity that lit my home, water that flowed from my taps, internet that connected me to the world. I was trusted. I was served first, and now I have the privilege of completing the exchange. Feel gratitude. Genuine gratitude. Not forced or fake, but real appreciation for the fact that you live in a world where you receive before you pay, where you're trusted, where resources flow to you. Now, as you prepare to pay that bill, visualize the money not as leaving you, but as circulating. See it flowing out and simultaneously creating a vacuum that draws more money in. See yourself as a channel through which wealth flows, not a reservoir from which it drains. Feel the ease of this flow. Feel yourself as part of a vast system of circulation where money moves through you abundantly, constantly, effortlessly. Can you feel the difference? This isn't just positive thinking. This is changing the command you're giving your subconscious. You're replacing the old program, bills are burdens, money leaves me, with a new program, bills are blessings, money circulates through me abundantly. The subconscious receives this new program, and because it was delivered in its native language, emotion combined with imagery, it begins to execute the new code. It starts attracting circumstances where money does circulate more easily, where unexpected income appears, where paying bills feels natural rather than stressful. Let's go deeper with hypnotic affirmations. These aren't just statements you say. These are carefully crafted instructions designed to penetrate the subconscious and create lasting change. Speak these slowly, with feeling, letting each one sink in. Money flows to me easily and constantly from expected and unexpected sources. As you say this, see money flowing toward you like a river. Feel the ease. Feel the constancy. See it coming from sources you know and sources you haven't even imagined yet. Let your body relax into this feeling. Let it be real. I am a magnet for wealth and prosperity. Abundance seeks me out. Feel yourself as magnetic, not chasing money, but attracting it. Feel opportunities being drawn to you. Feel yourself becoming the kind of person wealth naturally moves toward. This isn't arrogance. It's alignment with your true nature. My income is constantly increasing. Money comes to me in avalanches of abundance. See the increase. Feel it happening now, not in some distant future. Visualize avalanches, massive, unstoppable flows of wealth entering your life. Let yourself be excited by this image. Let it create anticipation and joy. I deserve wealth. I am worthy of prosperity. Financial freedom is my birthright. This one might trigger resistance. Old beliefs might whisper, "Who are you to deserve wealth?" Acknowledge that whisper, then dismiss it. It's just old programming. Replace it with this truth spoken with conviction. Feel your worthiness in your bones. You don't have to earn the right to breathe, and you don't have to earn the right to abundance. The universe is designed to support me. I am always provided for in magnificent ways. Feel the support of life itself. Feel held by something larger than your individual effort. Trust is the emotion here. Deep, cellular trust that you're not alone in this, that you're backed by infinite intelligence that knows how to supply your every need. Remember, the words are vehicles. The real message is in the feeling and the image. Your subconscious is listening right now, receiving these impressions, beginning to restructure itself around these new truths. This is the language of the subconscious. Emotion plus imagery equals command. Master this language, speak it daily, and you become the programmer of your own reality. You become the conscious creator of your wealth, the deliberate architect of your abundance. Your subconscious is listening. What will you tell it today? Chapter 8. The Law of Substitution. Your mind can only hold one thought at a time. This is a limitation and a liberation. A limitation because you cannot think two thoughts simultaneously. You can switch between them rapidly, but you cannot truly hold both at once. A liberation because it means you have absolute power in each moment to choose which thought occupies your mind. This is the law of substitution. You cannot remove a thought by fighting it, but you can replace it with another thought. You cannot stop thinking about lack by trying not to think about lack, but you can think about abundance so vividly, so completely, that lack has no space to exist. Most people try to fight negative thoughts. They notice themselves worrying about money, and they try to suppress the worry. They catch themselves imagining scarcity, and they try to push the images away. But this doesn't work. Fighting a thought gives it energy. Resisting an image makes it stronger. The very act of trying not to think about something requires you to think about it. The law of substitution offers a different approach. Replace the unwanted thought immediately with its opposite. Don't fight the negative mental movie. Change the channel. Insert a new film. Play a different scene. Your mind is a projector, and you control what plays on the screen. Right now, you're going to practice this. You're going to create a cinematic visualization sequence so vivid, so emotionally compelling that it becomes your default mental movie. And whenever the old movie of lack tries to play, you'll simply substitute this new one. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and step into the scene. You're standing in a beautiful space. It might be an office, a home, a garden, wherever feels right to you. But it's clear that this space represents abundance. Everything about it speaks of quality, comfort, prosperity. The light is perfect. The air is fresh. You feel completely at ease here because this is your space, created by your wealth, maintained by your resources. Look around. Notice specific details. What do you see? Is there art on the walls? Are there windows showing expansive views? Is there technology, furniture, beautiful objects that represent not just expense, but taste, discernment, the freedom to choose exactly what you want? Let the details become real. The more specific your visualization, the more powerfully it impresses your subconscious. Now, notice how you feel in this space. You feel calm, secure. There's no anxiety about money because money is not an issue. It flows. It's abundant. You make decisions based on what you truly want, not what you can afford. There's a lightness in your chest, a relaxation in your shoulders, because the weight of financial worry has been completely lifted. Someone enters the space, maybe a friend, a family member, a colleague. They look at you with respect, with warmth. They say something that affirms your success. Maybe they're asking for advice. Maybe they're congratulating you on an achievement. Maybe they're simply expressing how good it is to see you thriving. Hear their words. Feel the recognition. Let it be real in this moment. Now, shift the scene. You're checking your bank account. Instead of the spike of anxiety you might have felt before, you feel curious, even excited. You open the app or the statement, and you see numbers that make you smile. Numbers that represent not just enough, but more than enough. Numbers that represent freedom, security, possibility. Feel the satisfaction, feel the relief, feel the quiet joy of knowing you're financially sound. Another scene. You're making a purchase, something you truly want, not something frivolous necessarily, maybe something meaningful, maybe something practical, maybe something you've wanted for a long time, and you're buying it without hesitation, without guilt, without calculation. You simply decide you want it and you acquire it. The transaction is easy. The money is available. There's no stress in the exchange. Feel the freedom of that moment, the simplicity, the ease. Keep building this movie. See yourself going through your day without financial stress. See yourself receiving checks, receiving transfers, receiving unexpected windfalls. See yourself sharing your abundance, helping others, giving generously because you have plenty to give. Make this movie sensory rich. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel physically? What emotions arise? The more dimensions you add, the more real it becomes to your subconscious. This is your new mental movie. This is what you play on repeat. And here's how you use the law of substitution. Whenever you catch yourself running the old movie, imagining scarcity, worrying about bills, feeling anxiety about money, you immediately stop the old film and play this new one. You don't fight the old movie. You don't judge yourself for having it. You simply notice it and substitute, switch the channel, play the abundance movie instead. Do this instantly, without debate, without analysis. Just substitute. At first, you might need to substitute many times a day. The old movie has been playing for years, and it tries to play automatically. But each time you substitute, you weaken the old pattern and strengthen the new one. Each substitution is a reprogramming. Each time you play the abundance movie, you're impressing it more deeply on your subconscious. Eventually, the new movie becomes automatic. Your default mental programming shifts from scarcity to abundance. Your subconscious starts running the wealth movie on its own, without conscious effort. And when your inner movie changes, your outer circumstances must change to match. This is law. This is how consciousness works. The images you hold consistently in your mind, accompanied by emotion and conviction, become the blueprints your subconscious uses to construct your reality. You have the power of substitution. Use it. Every moment you choose which movie plays. Choose the one that shows you the life you're creating. Choose abundance, choose prosperity, choose wealth. And watch as the external world rearranges itself to match the internal movie you've been playing. The law of substitution is now yours. Use it wisely, use it constantly. Use it until the movie of abundance is the only one your mind knows how to play. Chapter 9. The Prayer of Assurance. Prayer is not begging. Prayer is not pleading with a reluctant universe to give you what you want. True prayer, the kind that actually works, the kind that produces results in the material world, is entirely different. It's not supplication, it's declaration. It's not asking for what you lack. It's claiming what already belongs to you. It's speaking with assurance, with faith, with absolute conviction that what you desire already exists in consciousness and is now manifesting in form. Joseph Murphy understood this. He taught that effective prayer is feeling combined with conviction. It's the emotional acceptance of your desire as already fulfilled. It's giving thanks before you see evidence because you know, with certainty beyond doubt, that the invisible laws of mind are already bringing your desire into manifestation. This is the prayer of assurance, not hope, not wishful thinking. Assurance. The deep knowing that what you've claimed in consciousness must appear in circumstances because this is how reality works. The inner always manifests as the outer. The subjective always becomes objective. This is law, as reliable as mathematics, as dependable as sunrise. So you're not going to pray like a beggar today. You're going to pray like an heir. You're going to claim your inheritance. You're going to speak to the creative power of life with the confidence of someone who knows their request has already been granted. Find a quiet space. Place your hand over your heart. Feel your breath. Feel your aliveness. This life force within you is connected to the infinite. You are not separate from Source. You are an expression of it, and everything Source has is available to you, not because you're special, but because this is the nature of reality. This is how the universe functions. Now, speak these words. Speak them slowly, with feeling, with conviction. Let each phrase resonate through your entire being. I give thanks for the immediate, constant, and lavish increase of my wealth. Notice the structure of this prayer. It doesn't say, please give me wealth. It says, I give thanks. Present tense. Gratitude expressed now, not in the future when wealth appears, because you're operating from the consciousness that wealth is already yours. You're thanking the universe for something that already exists in the realm of consciousness and is now flowing into material form. Immediate, because you're not putting this off to some distant someday. The law is working now. The response has already been set in motion. Constant, because this isn't a one-time event. This is a new way of being, a new relationship with abundance that flows continuously. Lavish, because you're not asking for just enough. You're claiming overflow, excess, abundance beyond your current conception. Continue. Money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly. I am a channel of infinite supply. The universe delights in prospering me. Feel the ease in these words. No struggle, no effort, just natural flow. You're not trying to make anything happen. You're allowing what wants to happen. You're opening yourself to be the channel through which universal abundance flows into particular form. The universe delights in prospering me. Let that land. The creative power doesn't resent your wealth. It isn't stingy. It isn't testing you to see if you're worthy. It delights in your prosperity the way a parent delights in giving good gifts to a child. This is the nature of the infinite, to express, to expand, to give without limit. I am now receiving the financial abundance I desire. It flows to me from expected and unexpected sources. I am open and receptive to all the wealth the universe has for me. I am now receiving, not I will receive. Now, because in consciousness, it's already done. The moment you claim it with faith, the moment you accept it emotionally as real, it exists. The time lag between inner acceptance and outer manifestation is just the period needed for physical rearrangement, but the essential act is complete. Every day, in every way, my wealth is increasing. I see evidence of my abundance everywhere I look. I am financially free, secure, and peaceful. This is programming. You're instructing your subconscious to notice evidence of abundance. What you look for, you find. What you expect, you experience. By declaring that you see evidence everywhere, you're training your mind to spot opportunities, to recognize resources, to perceive the wealth that was always there but invisible to eyes trained on lack. I release all fear about money. I release all scarcity thinking. I am safe, supported, and abundantly supplied. This is the release portion. You're letting go of what no longer serves, not fighting it, just releasing it. Like opening your hand and letting something fall away. Fear has no place in abundance consciousness. Scarcity thinking was just a mistake, a misunderstanding of how reality works. You're correcting that mistake now. I accept my prosperity now. I claim my wealth now. I embody abundance now. And I give thanks that it is so. It is so. These words seal the prayer. They're the period at the end of the sentence. They declare completion. You're not waiting for the universe to respond. You're recognizing that the response happened the moment you spoke with faith. The outer manifestation is just the echo of your inner decree. This prayer isn't something you say once and forget. This is your daily practice. Morning and evening, speak these words with feeling. Let them become the atmosphere of your consciousness. Let them replace old prayers of lack with new prayers of assurance. And remember, prayer works not because you're convincing a reluctant deity, but because you're aligning yourself with the laws of consciousness. You're impressing your subconscious with the pattern of wealth. You're broadcasting on the frequency of abundance, and the universe, impersonal, lawful, responsive, must match your broadcast with corresponding circumstances. This is the prayer of assurance. Speak it, feel it, know it, and watch as your world transforms to reflect the certainty with which you've spoken. Chapter 10. The Night Formula. There is a time each day when your subconscious mind is most receptive, most open, most ready to receive new programming. It's not during the busy hours of your day when your conscious mind is alert and analytical. It's in those precious moments just before you fall asleep, that liminal space between waking and dreaming, when the barrier between your conscious and subconscious mind becomes thin, permeable, almost transparent. This is the golden hour of reprogramming, the moment when what you impress upon your mind sinks deepest, takes root strongest, becomes most likely to manifest in your waking life. Your subconscious remains active all night, working on whatever you gave it as you drifted into sleep. It's processing, organizing, creating neural pathways, sending signals to your body and your energy field that will attract corresponding circumstances. This is why worrying in bed is so destructive. When you lie awake anxious about bills, fearful about your financial future, your subconscious receives that anxiety as instruction. It works all night on that frequency, and you wake up the next morning carrying the same vibration, attracting the same circumstances, reinforcing the same patterns. But you're going to use this powerful time differently. You're going to establish a night formula, a sacred ritual that programs your subconscious for wealth while you sleep. This isn't complicated. It doesn't require hours, but it does require consistency, and it requires feeling. Here's your night formula. Practice it every night for 21 days. 21 days is enough time to establish a new neural pathway, to create a habit at the subconscious level, to shift your default programming from lack to abundance. Step 1. Gratitude. As you lie in bed, before you begin drifting towards sleep, bring to mind 3 things you're grateful for related to money and abundance. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful you had enough food today. Maybe you're grateful for the roof over your head. Maybe you're grateful for an unexpected discount, a kind gesture, a moment when you felt provided for. Feel the gratitude. Don't just list things mechanically. Actually feel appreciation. Let it warm your chest. Let it soften your face. Gratitude is magnetic. It attracts more of what you're grateful for. When you fall asleep in gratitude, you program your subconscious to notice and attract more reasons to be grateful. Step 2. Visualization. Now create a simple scene in your imagination. See yourself wealthy, not abstractly, specifically. Maybe you're checking a bank account with abundant numbers. Maybe you're in a beautiful home that represents your prosperity. Maybe you're experiencing the freedom to make a purchase without hesitation. Choose one scene and make it vivid. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the feelings. Let yourself experience this scene as if it's happening now. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. To your deeper mind, you're experiencing wealth right now in this moment, and it begins creating conditions in your life to match this experience. Stay with this visualization for a few minutes. Let yourself enjoy it. Let yourself feel the reality of it. Don't let your conscious mind intrude with doubts or questions about how this will happen. Just experience the end result. Feel the wealth. Know the abundance. Step 3. Declaration. Now speak your declaration. You can speak it aloud if you're alone, or silently if someone's sleeping beside you. Either way, speak with conviction. I sleep in peace and I wake in prosperity. My subconscious mind is now programmed for wealth. Money flows to me while I sleep. I am abundant, prosperous, and financially free, and I give thanks that it is so. Say these words slowly. Feel each one. Let them sink into your consciousness, like stones dropping into still water, sending ripples through your entire being. Step 4. Release. This is the most important step, and the one most people miss. After you've done the gratitude, the visualization, the declaration, let it all go. Don't lie awake trying to make something happen. Don't monitor your thoughts to make sure you're staying positive. Don't analyze or strategize or plan. Just release. Surrender. Trust that your subconscious has received the instruction and is now working on it. Your job is done. Now you simply drift into sleep, peaceful and assured, knowing that while your conscious mind rests, your subconscious mind is busy rearranging your inner and outer world to match the pattern you've given it. Sleep becomes sacred with this formula. It's no longer just rest. It's reprogramming. It's realignment. It's the time when your deepest transformation happens. Do this every night for 21 days. No exceptions. 21 nights of impressing abundance on your subconscious as you fall asleep. 21 nights of programming wealth consciousness into your deeper mind. 21 nights of planting seeds in the most fertile soil of your being. And watch what happens. You'll likely notice subtle changes first. You'll feel different about money. You'll notice opportunities you would have missed before. You'll make different decisions. You'll attract different circumstances. The changes might be small at first, but they compound. Each night reinforces the new pattern. Each morning you wake slightly more aligned with abundance. By the end of 21 days, something fundamental will have shifted. You won't be the same person who started this practice. Your subconscious programming will have changed. Your vibration will have adjusted. Your relationship with wealth will have transformed. This is your night formula. Simple but powerful. Ancient but effective. Use it faithfully. Let it become as automatic as brushing your teeth. Let it be the last thing you do before sleep claims you. Your subconscious is waiting. The night is ready. Your transformation into a wealth receiver has already begun. Now you simply sleep into your new reality, night after night, until the dream becomes your waking life. 21 days. Start tonight. Watch your world change. Chapter 11. The Bridge of Faith. There is a moment in every transformation when something shifts. You've done the inner work. You've reprogrammed your subconscious. You've established new beliefs. You've visualized, affirmed, and aligned yourself with abundance. And then comes the moment when the inner world must meet the outer world, when consciousness must move into action, when faith must become the bridge between invisible intention and visible result. This is where many people stumble. They do the mental and emotional work beautifully, but then they wait passively for circumstances to change while they remain unchanged. They expect the universe to deliver wealth while they continue the same behaviors, make the same choices, take the same paths that kept them in lack. But this isn't how it works. Wealth consciousness doesn't just sit in your mind. It moves through you. It expresses as inspired action, intuitive impulses, sudden knowing about what to do next. And when you follow these impulses, even when they don't make logical sense, even when they feel risky, even when you can't see the full picture, that's when miracles happen. That's when the bridge of faith is built and abundance crosses over from potential to actual. Let me tell you about Marcus. He was a graphic designer, talented but struggling, earning barely enough to cover his expenses. He discovered the principles you're learning now. He began working with his subconscious, visualizing abundance, feeling wealthy before the evidence appeared, and something started shifting inside him. He felt different about money. He felt different about himself. Then one day, sitting at his desk, he had an impulse, a clear, sudden knowing. Call David. David was someone he'd worked with years ago, a brief collaboration on a small project. They hadn't spoken since. Marcus had no logical reason to call him. His conscious mind immediately offered objections. Why would you call him? It's been 3 years. He probably doesn't even remember you. This is weird. But the impulse persisted, strong, unmistakable. This wasn't anxiety or random thought. This was something else, a quiet certainty, a gentle push from some intelligence that knew more than his conscious mind could see. So Marcus made the call. David answered, surprised but friendly. They caught up briefly, and then David said something that changed everything. This is incredibly synchronistic. I literally just had a meeting an hour ago where we realized we need a designer for a major project. It's 3 months of work, well paid, and I immediately thought of you, but figured you'd probably be too busy or moved on to bigger things. I was going to try to find your contact information tomorrow. Marcus got the job. It paid more than he'd earned in the previous year. But more than that, it led to introductions, to other clients, to opportunities he could never have planned or predicted. All because he followed an impulse that made no logical sense. This is the bridge of faith. Not blind faith, not naive faith, but the faith that recognizes when your transformed consciousness is trying to express through you, when your subconscious mind, now programmed for abundance, is guiding you toward the opportunities it's attracting. Faith is the bridge because it connects 2 realms. On one side is the invisible world of consciousness, belief, and inner knowing. On the other side is the visible world of circumstances, people, and material outcomes. The bridge is built when you act on inner guidance even without outer evidence, when you move before you understand, when you say yes before you see the full path. Your subconscious mind has access to information. Your conscious mind doesn't. It perceives patterns, connections, and possibilities that exist outside your immediate awareness. When you've programmed it for wealth, it begins working behind the scenes, arranging synchronicities, drawing opportunities toward you, orchestrating circumstances in your favor. But it needs your cooperation. It needs you to act when it prompts you. These prompts don't usually come as dramatic visions or voices from the sky. They come as quiet impulses, a sudden interest in learning a new skill, an unexpected urge to attend an event you'd normally skip, a feeling that you should reach out to someone, a sense that you should take a different route home. Small things, subtle nudges, easy to dismiss. But when you honor them, when you act on them with faith, they become the bridge over which abundance walks into your life. This doesn't mean acting recklessly. It doesn't mean ignoring wisdom or abandoning discernment. The impulses that come from your wealth program subconscious have a particular quality. They feel calm, not frantic. They feel certain, not desperate. They feel expansive, not contracting. Learn to distinguish between fear-driven compulsion and faith-guided inspiration. One contracts your chest and speeds your heart with anxiety. The other opens your chest and creates a sense of rightness, even if it challenges your comfort zone. Start small if you need to. Practice following minor impulses. When you feel drawn to take a walk at an unusual time, take it. When you sense you should call someone, call them. When an idea for a project excites you, begin it. Build your faith muscles with small acts of trust. Each time you follow intuition and discover unexpected good resulting from it, you strengthen the bridge. You prove to yourself that this guidance is real, that your subconscious is truly working on your behalf, that the invisible world of consciousness does indeed shape the visible world of form. Marcus didn't become wealthy because of one phone call. He became wealthy because that phone call taught him to trust the impulses. He learned to recognize the language of his transformed consciousness. He built the bridge of faith one intuitive action at a time, and abundance crossed over that bridge in countless forms. Opportunities, relationships, ideas, resources, synchronicities that his old self would have missed entirely. You're at this bridge now. Your inner work has prepared you. Your subconscious is programmed. Your consciousness has shifted. Now comes the movement, the action, the willingness to step forward even when the full path isn't visible, to follow the inner prompts even when the outer logic argues against them. The bridge of faith isn't built all at once. It's built plank by plank with each act of trust. Each moment you honor intuition over fear. Each time you move in alignment with your transformed consciousness rather than your old patterns. Build this bridge. Cross it daily. Let your inner wealth move into outer expression through inspired action. This is how belief becomes opportunity. This is how consciousness becomes circumstance. This is how your new inner reality manifests as your new outer life. The bridge is forming beneath your feet right now. Faith is the material. Action is the movement. Abundance is what meets you on the other side. Walk forward. Chapter 12. The currency of gratitude. If you want to multiply your wealth, learn to multiply your gratitude. This isn't a metaphor. This isn't spiritual platitude or positive thinking dressed up in nice words. This is a fundamental principle of how abundance operates in the universe. Gratitude is a form of currency, perhaps the most powerful form, and it trades at an exchange rate most people never discover. Here's what happens energetically when you feel genuine gratitude. You align yourself with the frequency of abundance. You say to the universe, to your subconscious mind, to the quantum field of possibility, I have received. I am blessed. I recognize the good in my life. And the universe, which operates on the principle of like attracting like, must respond by sending you more to be grateful for, not because it's rewarding you for being grateful, but because you've tuned yourself to the station that broadcasts abundance. Gratitude is acknowledgement of supply, and what you acknowledge, you amplify. What you focus on with appreciation, you multiply in your experience. This is law as dependable as mathematics. Grateful people become wealthier not because they're lucky, but because they've activated the circulation system of prosperity. They've opened the channel. They've become receivers in a state of reception. But here's what most people miss. Gratitude only works when it's genuine. You can't fake it. You can't mechanically list things you're grateful for while feeling resentful or empty inside and expect results. Your subconscious knows the difference. The universe knows the difference. You must feel it. You must let gratitude move through you as an authentic emotion, warming your chest, softening your face, creating real appreciation for what is. Let's practice this now, not as an intellectual exercise, but as an energetic shift, as a real change in your vibrational state. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and bring to mind something you're grateful for. Start simple. Maybe it's the fact that you have eyes to read these words. Maybe it's the breath moving through your body right now without you having to think about it. Maybe it's the roof over your head, the bed you slept in last night, the water you drank today. Don't rush. Stay with this one thing. Let the gratitude build. Feel it in your body. Where does it live? In your heart? In your stomach? In your throat? Let it intensify. Let it become more than just a thought. Let it become a physical sensation, an emotional wave moving through you. Good. Now expand. Think of 3 specific financial blessings in your life right now. They don't have to be big. Maybe someone bought you coffee. Maybe you found money you'd forgotten about. Maybe a bill was less than you expected. Maybe you had the money to buy groceries without stress. Find 3 things related to money or resources where you can feel genuine appreciation. As you think of each one, pause. Let the gratitude register. Say thank you out loud or internally, but say it with feeling. Thank you for this. Thank you for providing this. Thank you for this blessing. Let the words carry real emotion. Let them mean something. Notice what happens in your body as you do this. Notice how gratitude shifts your energy, how it softens the places that were tight, how it opens the places that were closed, how it changes the quality of your presence. This is you moving into the frequency of abundance. This is you becoming magnetic to wealth. Now, here's the advanced practice. This is where gratitude becomes truly transformative. Be grateful for abundance that hasn't manifested yet. Be grateful for the money that's coming. Be grateful for the opportunities that are forming. Be grateful for the wealth that exists right now in consciousness and is moving into form. This isn't pretending. This isn't denying reality. This is understanding that the moment you claim something in consciousness, with faith, it's already done. The manifestation in physical form is just the time lag required for matter to rearrange itself to match your inner conviction. But the essential act is complete. So you can be grateful now for what you'll see later. Try it. Say, thank you for my increasing wealth. Thank you for the abundance flowing to me now. Thank you for the financial freedom I'm experiencing. Thank you for the opportunities opening before me. And as you say these words, feel the gratitude as if these things have already happened. Because in the realm of consciousness, they have. This is the currency of gratitude. You're not waiting to be grateful after you receive. You're being grateful now, which creates the receiving. You're spending gratitude freely, and it returns to you multiplied as circumstances that give you more reasons to be grateful. Make this a daily practice. Morning and night, find 5 things to be genuinely grateful for. 3 from your current experience. 2 from your future that you're claiming now. Feel each one. Let the emotion be real. Let the appreciation flow through you like water, cleansing old patterns of ingratitude, resentment, or taking things for granted. Watch what happens over the next weeks. You'll start noticing more good in your life, not because more good is appearing, but because you're training your mind to see it. What you appreciate appreciates. What you're grateful for grows. This is the currency exchange. You give gratitude, you receive abundance. You acknowledge blessing. Blessing acknowledges you. And here's the secret that unlocks exponential wealth. Be grateful in advance. Be grateful before you see evidence. Be grateful when circumstances look challenging. Be grateful as an act of faith, as a declaration of trust, as a statement that says, I know abundance is my natural state, and I'm grateful for it even before it shows up in my bank account. This kind of gratitude, advanced gratitude, faith gratitude, is the highest form of the currency. It's how you access compound interest in the realm of consciousness. It's how you move from linear growth to exponential expansion. Spend this currency lavishly. Be grateful always for everything, in advance and after the fact, for small blessings and large ones, for what you have and what's coming. Become a person who radiates gratitude. Let it be your default state, your baseline emotion, your constant frequency, and watch as the universe responds. Watch as your wealth multiplies. Watch as opportunities appear from nowhere. Watch as money flows more easily. Watch as abundance becomes not something you chase, but something you embody. Gratitude is the currency. You have infinite supply of it. Spend it freely. The returns will astonish you. Chapter 13. The Golden Flow Principle. There is a principle that governs prosperity, a law as reliable as gravity, and most people violate it constantly without realizing why their wealth remains stagnant. This is the circulation law of prosperity, and it operates on one simple truth: money must flow to grow. Joseph Murphy taught this principle through stories that revealed its power. One story stands out, and it holds the key to exponential wealth. Listen carefully, because understanding this principle, and more importantly, applying it, will transform your financial reality. There was once a merchant who ran a successful shop in a prosperous town. His business was good, his customers loyal, his profits steady. But he noticed something. Despite his success, his wealth wasn't growing the way he expected. He made money, yes, but it seemed to plateau. There was always enough, but never abundance, never overflow, never the kind of wealth that builds on itself. One day, an old teacher came through town. The merchant, curious about wealth principles, asked him, "Why does my money stay the same? I work hard, I'm honest, I serve my customers well, but I never break through to real prosperity." The teacher looked at him and asked a simple question. "What do you do with your profits?" "I save them," the merchant said proudly. "Every coin I can spare, I put away. I'm cautious. I don't waste money. I hold on to what I earn." The teacher nodded slowly. "And that," he said, "is why your wealth doesn't grow. Money is like water. If you dam it up, it stagnates. If you let it flow, it stays fresh, clean, and it multiplies. You must learn the golden flow principle." "What is that?" the merchant asked. "Give freely," the teacher said. "Not foolishly, not recklessly, but generously. Let money flow through you, not just to you. Become a channel of circulation, not a reservoir of accumulation. When you give to worthy causes, to people in need, to investments in good work, you create a vacuum that draws more in. You prove to the universe that you trust supply. You demonstrate abundance consciousness, and the universe must match your consciousness." The merchant was skeptical but desperate enough to try. He began giving. He donated to the temple. He helped families in need. He invested in a young artisan's business. He paid his workers generously. At first, his logical mind panicked. "I'm spending my savings. I'm being foolish." But something strange began happening. His business started growing. New customers appeared. His existing customers bought more. Opportunities he hadn't anticipated opened up. Someone offered him a partnership in a venture that proved highly profitable. Within a year, he was wealthier than he'd been in the previous 5 years of hoarding. But the real revelation wasn't just that he had more money. It was that he felt different about money. The anxiety was gone. The fear of loss disappeared. He trusted flow. He knew that what went out would return multiplied. He'd discovered the golden flow principle, and it had set him free. This principle works because of how energy operates. Money is energy. Everything is energy. And energy must circulate to stay healthy, vital, and growing. When you hoard it, when you clutch it out of fear, when you refuse to let it flow, you block the channels. You tell the universe, I don't trust supply. I believe in scarcity. I must protect what little I have. And the universe responds by matching that consciousness with circumstances of limitation. But when you give freely, when you tithe, when you donate, when you invest in others, when you tip generously, when you share your resources, you make a declaration. I trust abundance. I know there's more where this came from. I am connected to infinite supply. I can afford to give because I understand circulation. And the universe responds to that consciousness by sending you more to circulate. This doesn't mean being irresponsible. It doesn't mean giving away money you need for essentials. It means shifting from a mentality of hoarding to a mentality of circulation. It means becoming a steward of wealth rather than a prisoner of it. It means recognizing that your true security doesn't come from how much you're holding, but from your connection to the source of all supply. Here's how to apply the golden flow principle. Decide today that you will give a portion of everything you receive. Many teachers suggest 10% as a tithe. Give to wherever you receive spiritual nourishment, whether that's a church, a teacher, a cause that inspires you. Give where you want to see good multiplied in the world. Give without expectation of return from the person or organization you give to. You're not giving to get something back from them. You're giving to activate the law of circulation. You're giving to align yourself with abundance consciousness. You're giving to prove to yourself and the universe that you trust supply, and watch what happens. Not immediately necessarily, not always from the expected sources, but watch. You'll notice opportunities. You'll receive unexpected income. You'll find that your money goes further. You'll discover that giving freely actually makes you wealthier, not poorer. This seems paradoxical to the logical mind, but it's perfectly sensible to the subconscious mind that understands energy and flow. Make this a practice. Every time money comes to you, immediately allocate a portion for giving. Not what's left over, not if you have extra. First, before expenses, before savings, before anything else. This first fruits principle is ancient wisdom because it works. It declares that your giving isn't contingent on having excess. It's a statement of faith that precedes manifestation. The golden flow principle liberates you from scarcity. It transforms your relationship with money from fear-based grasping to faith-based circulation. It makes you a partner with the universe in the distribution of wealth rather than a competitor fighting over limited resources. Become like water. Generous, flowing, circulating, cleansing, life-giving, never stagnant, never hoarded, always moving, and like water that flows downhill and evaporates upward and rains down again in an endless cycle. Your wealth will circulate, going out and returning, each time multiplied, each time increased, each time proving that the golden flow principle is real, reliable, and transformative. Give freely. Receive abundantly, circulate constantly. This is the golden flow principle. This is how wealth multiplies. This is how you align with the infinite nature of supply. Let it flow and watch your wealth grow exponentially. Chapter 14. The Wealth Habit. Loop. Your life is the sum of your habits, not your intentions, not your wishes, not your occasional bursts of effort, your habits. The unconscious patterns you repeat day after day without thinking. These habits create neural pathways in your brain, biochemical patterns in your body, and energetic signatures in your consciousness. And these patterns determine what manifests in your life. Right now, you have money habits. Some are obvious: how you spend, how you save, how you track your finances. But some are invisible. How you think about money first thing in the morning, how you feel when you check your bank account, what internal dialogue runs through your mind when financial topics arise. These invisible habits are the most powerful because they operate at the subconscious level, where your reality is actually constructed. The wealth habit loop is a system for replacing old unconscious patterns with new conscious ones. It's based on the psychological mechanisms that create lasting change, repetition, expectation, and embodiment. You're going to install a new operating system, one habit at a time, until wealth consciousness becomes your automatic default, rather than something you have to remember to practice. Here's how it works. Every habit has three components: a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue triggers the behavior. The routine is the behavior itself. The reward is what your brain gets from the behavior, which reinforces the loop and makes it automatic. To install a wealth habit, you need to create a powerful cue, a clear routine, and an emotionally satisfying reward. Let's build your wealth habit loop around the most important time of day, morning. The first hour after you wake up is sacred territory. Your brain is moving from theta state sleep into alpha and then beta state wakefulness. During this transition, your subconscious is still highly impressionable. What you impress upon it now will influence your entire day. This is when you install your wealth consciousness. The morning wealth ritual. Your cue will be simple. The moment your feet touch the floor when you get out of bed. This physical action becomes the trigger that automatically initiates your wealth consciousness routine. Every morning, feet on floor, the habit begins. Here's your routine, step by step. This takes 7 minutes. You have 7 minutes. 7 minutes will change your life if you do this consistently. Minute 1, gratitude declaration. Before you do anything else, before you check your phone, before you start planning your day, speak gratitude. Say aloud or whisper, "Thank you for this day. Thank you for the abundance flowing to me. Thank you for the wealth I am receiving. Thank you for my increasing prosperity." Feel the gratitude. Let it be genuine. This sets your emotional tone for the day. Minute 2, identity statement. Stand before a mirror if possible, or simply stand with posture erect and confident. Look yourself in the eyes if you have a mirror. Speak your new identity. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am prosperous. Money flows to me easily and constantly. I am a magnet for financial opportunity. I live in a state of overflow. Say it with conviction. Say it like you're reminding yourself of a fact you already know. Minute 3, visualization. Close your eyes. See yourself living your wealthy life. Don't create an elaborate movie. Just capture one clear image. Maybe it's checking a bank account with abundant numbers. Maybe it's making a purchase without hesitation. Maybe it's relaxing in a space that represents your prosperity. Hold this image. Feel it. Make it vivid for 60 seconds. Minute 4, circulation commitment. Place your hand over your heart and make your daily commitment to circulation. Say, "Today I circulate wealth. I give freely. I receive abundantly. I trust the flow. I am a channel of prosperity." This activates the golden flow principle you learned. This reminds you that wealth is something that moves through you, not something you hoard. Minute 5, opportunity awareness. Set your intention to notice opportunities. Say, "I am alert to every opportunity that comes today. I see doors opening. I recognize divine guidance. I act on inspired impulses. My subconscious mind is guiding me to the right people, the right ideas, the right actions." This programs your reticular activating system, the filter in your brain, to notice what serves your wealth. Minute 6, release and trust. Take 3 deep breaths. With each exhale, release any residual fear, doubt, or anxiety about money. Say, I release all fear, I release all doubt, I trust the process, I trust divine intelligence, I trust that I am supported and supplied. Feel the release, feel the lightness, feel the trust. Minute 7, activation statement. End with a powerful declaration that seals the ritual. This is done, my wealth consciousness is activated. Today will bring evidence of my abundance. I expect good things. I claim my prosperity, and so it is. Say it with finality. Say it with certainty. You're not hoping, you're declaring. The reward. Here's what makes this habit stick. The reward is the feeling you carry into your day. After this 7-minute ritual, you feel different. You feel empowered. You feel aligned. You feel confident. Your nervous system is calm. Your energy is high. Your expectation is positive. This feeling state is the reward that makes you want to repeat the ritual tomorrow. Your brain learns. Morning ritual equals feeling good, and it will crave this ritual because it's wired to seek rewards. Do this for 21 days without missing a single morning. 21 days to install the habit. 21 days to create the neural pathway. 21 days to make wealth consciousness your automatic morning operating system. Here's what will happen. At first, you'll have to remember to do it. You'll have to consciously choose it. But around day 10, something shifts. It starts feeling natural. By day 15, you'll wake up automatically thinking about your ritual. By day 21, it's installed. It's automatic. It's who you are now. And this one habit, this 7-minute morning practice, will change everything else. Because when you start every day in wealth consciousness, every decision you make flows from that consciousness. Every thought builds on it. Every action aligns with it. You're not trying to be wealthy for a few minutes a day. You're installing the baseline state of wealth that operates all day. Repetition creates permanence. Expectation creates attraction. Embodiment creates manifestation. This is the wealth habit loop. Install it. Repeat it. Let it make you wealthy from the inside out. 7 minutes. Every morning for 21 days. Your transformation begins tomorrow morning when your feet hit the floor. Chapter 15. The Invisible Hand of Supply. You are not alone in this. You've never been alone in this. While you've been learning these principles, practicing these techniques, reprogramming your consciousness, there has been an intelligence working behind the scenes on your behalf. An orchestrating force. A divine hand that arranges circumstances, opens doors, and brings the right people, opportunities, and resources into your path at exactly the right time. Some call this God. Some call it universe. Some call it infinite intelligence or divine providence or the quantum field. The name doesn't matter. What matters is recognizing that you're not creating abundance through personal power alone. You're partnering with a force infinitely greater than your individual self. A force that has been orchestrating the dance of galaxies for billions of years and is now orchestrating the dance of your prosperity. This is the invisible hand of supply. You can't see it, but you can see its effects. You can't grasp it, but you can feel its presence. You can't control it, but you can align with it. And when you do, when you truly understand that you're supported by an intelligence that never sleeps, never fails, never runs out of resources, everything changes. The anxiety dissolves, the striving ceases, the desperate grasping relaxes into peaceful receiving. Think about how you got here to this very moment. Think about the series of events, the chain of circumstances, the sequence of thoughts and encounters that led you to these words right now. Was it random? Was it coincidence? Or was there an invisible intelligence guiding you toward this awakening, toward this understanding, toward this transformation? You were brought here. You were led here. Something in you knew you needed this, and something greater than you conspired to deliver it. This is how the invisible hand works, always guiding, always providing, always bringing you what you need when you need it. Your job isn't to figure out how your wealth will manifest. That's not your department. Your job is to hold the consciousness of abundance, to believe in your prosperity, to follow inspired guidance, to take action when prompted. The how is handled by the invisible hand. The orchestration is handled by divine intelligence. The mechanisms are managed by forces you don't need to understand or control. A tree doesn't struggle to grow. It doesn't worry about how to convert sunlight into energy or how to draw nutrients from soil. It simply stays connected to its source, follows its innate blueprint, and allows the intelligence of life to handle the complex processes. And the tree grows magnificently without effort, without anxiety, without questioning whether it will have enough. You're like the tree. Your job is to stay rooted in wealth consciousness, to remain connected to your source, to follow your inner blueprint. The invisible hand handles the rest. It knows how to attract opportunities you haven't imagined. It knows how to connect you with people who can help you. It knows how to orchestrate circumstances that seem miraculous but are simply the natural operation of divine intelligence working on your behalf. This isn't passivity. This is partnership. You do your part, the inner work, the consciousness alignment, the inspired action, and you trust the invisible hand to do its part, which is everything you cannot see or control. You plant the seeds, you water them, you provide good soil, but you don't make the seed grow. That's done by the intelligence within the seed responding to the intelligence of nature. You participate, you don't dominate. Feel this now. Feel the support beneath you, around you, within you. Feel the presence of this intelligence that wants your prosperity even more than you do. Not because it favors you personally, but because prosperity is its nature. Abundance is how it expresses. Supplying needs is what it does. Automatically, naturally, constantly, you are wired into infinite supply. You're plugged into the source that never depletes. Your bank account might show a number, but that number doesn't represent your true supply. Your true supply is limitless because you're connected to the source of all supply. The invisible hand can move money to you from directions you haven't considered, through channels that don't exist yet, in ways that will surprise and delight you. Stop trying to figure it all out. Stop trying to control every variable. Stop micromanaging the universe. Instead, relax into the knowing that you're supported. Surrender the how to the invisible hand. Trust that what's meant for you is already in motion, already being arranged, already moving toward you through perfect divine timing. This doesn't mean sitting idle and waiting for money to fall from the sky. It means acting from inspiration rather than desperation. It means making decisions from trust rather than fear. It means following guidance rather than forcing outcomes. It means cooperating with the invisible hand rather than fighting against it with limited human effort. When you need something, ask. Ask clearly, ask specifically, ask with faith. Then release the request to the invisible hand and trust that it's being handled. Watch for guidance. Watch for open doors. Watch for synchronicities that point you in the right direction. And when you see them, move, act, step through the open door, follow the guidance. This is how you partner with divine intelligence. You're entering a new chapter now. You've learned the principles, you've done the practices, you've reprogrammed your consciousness. Now you're stepping into the flow of supported abundance, where you're no longer working alone but working in partnership with the greatest power in the universe. The invisible hand is extended toward you right now. It's offering you everything you need and more than you've imagined. All you have to do is take it, accept it, receive it, and trust that every step forward is guided. Every need is met. Every desire is fulfilled by an intelligence that orchestrates abundance with perfect precision. You are wealthy. You are provided for. You are supported. The invisible hand of supply is working on your behalf right now, arranging circumstances you'll see tomorrow, next week, next month. Your only job is to stay aligned in consciousness and watch the magic unfold. Trust the invisible hand. Surrender to its guidance. Receive its abundance. Your wealth is already secured. Your prosperity is already certain. The orchestration is already complete. Welcome to supported, divinely orchestrated, infinitely supplied abundance. Welcome to partnership with the invisible hand. Welcome to the life you were always meant to live. Chapter 16. The State of Having. There is a profound difference between wanting wealth and being wealth, between seeking abundance and embodying it, between hoping for prosperity and living as prosperity itself. This distinction is not semantic. It's the difference between perpetual striving and permanent having, between chasing what eludes you and resting in what already is. Most people spend their entire lives in the state of wanting. They focus on what they don't have. They feel the absence. They reach toward something they believe exists outside themselves, somewhere in the future, contingent on circumstances changing. And this very state of wanting creates more wanting, because the universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your state of being. When your state is, I want wealth, the universe matches that state by keeping wealth always in the position of something wanted but not had. This is the trap. Wanting wealth guarantees you'll continue wanting it. Seeking abundance ensures you'll continue seeking it. The energy of pursuit creates the experience of distance. You're telling the universe through your very state of consciousness, I don't have this, it's not here, it's somewhere else, and I'm trying to get it. And the universe, being a perfect mirror, reflects back circumstances that match, circumstances where wealth remains out of reach. But there's another way, another state of being entirely. This is the state of having. Not having in the future when conditions change. Having now. Having already. Having always. This is the state where you recognize wealth not as something external to acquire, but as something internal to embody. In the state of having, you don't pursue wealth, you express it. You don't chase prosperity, you radiate it. You don't seek abundance, you are abundance. The fundamental shift is from I want to be wealthy to I am wealth itself. This isn't pretending. This is an affirmation divorced from feeling. This is recognizing a truth that exists beneath the surface appearances of your current bank account. At the level of consciousness, at the level of your essential being, you are already complete, already whole, already abundant. The physical manifestations are just delayed reflections of this inner truth. When you shift into the state of having at the consciousness level, the physical level must eventually catch up. How do you make this shift? How do you move from wanting to having when your physical circumstances seem to contradict the having? You begin by understanding that having is a feeling state, not a circumstantial condition. Rich people don't feel abundant because they have money. They have money because they feel abundant. The feeling comes first. The state of consciousness precedes the material evidence. You must feel wealthy before you become wealthy. You must embody having before the having manifests in form. Close your eyes. Feel into this state right now. What would it feel like if you already had everything you needed financially? Not just enough, overflow, not just security, freedom, not just sufficiency, abundance. How would your body feel? How would your breath move? How would your shoulders sit? How would your face relax? That feeling, that's the state of having, and it's available to you right now, regardless of your bank account, because the state of having exists in consciousness, not in circumstances. When you learn to access this state, independent of external conditions, you've discovered the master key. You've learned to be what you seek rather than seeking what you believe you're not. Practice this state daily. Throughout your day, pause and ask yourself, am I in the state of wanting or the state of having? If you notice yourself in wanting, focused on lack, feeling absence, reaching for what isn't here, gently shift into having. Feel as if your financial desires are already fulfilled. Feel the relief, the peace, the freedom that having brings. Embody it now before the evidence appears. This is not denial of current circumstances. You can acknowledge where you are while simultaneously being in the state of having. The acknowledgement is mental. The state is emotional and energetic. You're not lying to yourself. You're aligning yourself with the truth that exists at a deeper level than physical appearance. I already am what I seek. This is your new declaration, not I will become what I seek or I hope to attain what I seek. I already am. Present tense, current, reality, existing fact at the level of consciousness. Speak it now. I already am what I seek. I am wealth. I am abundance. I am prosperity. I don't chase these. I express these. I don't pursue these. I embody these. I am the state of having. Feel the shift as you say these words. Feel yourself moving from seeking to being, from future orientation to present presence, from wanting what you lack to being what you are. This is the state of having. This is living as wealth consciousness. This is the end of the search and the beginning of the expression. You already are what you seek. Stop seeking. Start being. The wealth you want is the wealth you are. Claim it, embody it, live from it, and watch as the physical world rearranges itself to match the truth of your being. Chapter 17, The Quantum River. There is a field of infinite potential that exists right now all around you, interpenetrating every atom of your being. Quantum physics calls it the field. Mystics call it the one. Metaphysicians call it source. But regardless of the name, this field is real, measurable, and available. It contains every possibility that could ever exist, including the possibility of your complete and immediate financial abundance. This field isn't somewhere else. It isn't in another dimension you can't access. It's here, now, closer than your breath, more intimate than your heartbeat. You're not separate from it, you're made of it. You're a localized expression of this infinite field, a wave arising from an endless ocean, a note in an eternal symphony. And within this field flows a current, an invisible river of energy, intelligence, and supply. This quantum river carries everything you need, every opportunity, every resource, every connection, every idea. It's all flowing through this river right now, and the river is flowing through you. You're not standing on the bank watching it pass. You're in it. You've always been in it. You just haven't realized it. Most people live as if they're separate from the flow. They believe they must create their own current through personal effort, individual striving, isolated action. They exhaust themselves trying to generate flow when they're already swimming in it. They're like fish trying to find water, not realizing they're surrounded by what they seek. But you're waking up now. You're recognizing that you don't need to create the flow. You need to align with it. You don't need to make abundance happen. You need to let it flow through you. You're not the source of the river. You're a channel for the river. And the river is infinite, inexhaustible, eternally full. Close your eyes and visualize this now. See yourself standing at the edge of a vast, luminous river. The water isn't ordinary water. It's liquid light, flowing with consciousness, shimmering with possibility. This is the quantum river, the flow of infinite supply, the current of universal abundance. Feel its presence. Feel its power. This river has been flowing since before time began and will flow long after the stars die. It never runs dry. It never diminishes. It simply flows endlessly, carrying infinite resources to infinite beings. Now step into the river. Feel the water, warm, welcoming, alive, rising around your feet, your ankles, your legs. You're not fighting it. You're not swimming against it. You're simply allowing yourself to be held by it, supported by it, carried by it. As you stand in this river, something remarkable happens. You begin to dissolve, not disappearing, merging. The boundaries between you and the river become permeable. Where do you end and the river begin? You can't tell anymore. You're not separate from the flow. You are the flow. The river is moving through you. You are moving with the river. You've become one with the current. This is effortless abundance. This is flow state. This is what happens when you stop resisting the natural movement of prosperity and start allowing it. You're not trying to control the river's direction. You're not anxious about where it's taking you. You trust the current. You surrender to the flow, and the river carries you exactly where you need to go. Feel this now. Feel yourself flowing with ease. Feel opportunities coming to you. Feel resources arriving. Feel the perfect synchronization of events that brings you everything you need without struggle, without strain, without exhausting effort. This is your natural state. This is how life is meant to be lived, in alignment with the quantum river, in harmony with the flow of infinite supply. The river knows where the abundance is. The river knows the path of least resistance. The river knows how to navigate around obstacles and find the openings you can't see from your limited perspective. Your job isn't to direct the river. Your job is to trust it, to relax into it, to let it carry you. When you feel yourself tensing, controlling, pushing, you've stepped out of the river in your consciousness. When you notice this, simply step back in. Feel the flow. Surrender to the current. Remember that you're not creating prosperity through force. You're allowing prosperity through alignment. The quantum river is flowing right now. Can you feel it? Can you sense the movement of infinite potential through your life, through your consciousness, through this very moment? It's always been here. You've just been standing on the bank, watching, when you could have been swimming all along. Merge with the river. Become one with the flow. Let the current of infinite supply move through you, as you, expressing as your life circumstances. This is effortless manifestation. This is alignment with the field of infinite potential. This is living in the quantum river where all things are possible and all needs are met through the natural flow of universal abundance. You are the river. The river is you. There is no separation. There never was. Welcome home to the flow. Chapter 18. The silent magnet. There is a power in stillness that surpasses all effort. A magnetism in silence that attracts more effectively than any action. This is the secret the masters know, but rarely teach, because it contradicts everything you've been told about how to succeed in the world. You've been taught that wealth requires hustle, that abundance demands constant action, that you must push, strive, promote, convince, and exhaust yourself in pursuit of prosperity. And while action has its place, there's something far more powerful: the silent magnet. The silent magnet is you in a state of calm, centered, emotional neutrality, aligned with wealth consciousness, expecting abundance yet completely at peace, whether it arrives today or tomorrow. This state is paradoxically the most attractive state you can embody. It draws wealth to you like iron filings to a magnet, without effort, without chase, without desperate energy that repels what you seek. Why does this work? Because neediness repels abundance. Desperation creates resistance. Anxious pursuit broadcasts the frequency of lack, and the universe matches that frequency with circumstances of lack. But when you're still, when you're neutral, when you're at peace, you broadcast the frequency of having, of completion, of wholeness, and that frequency attracts wealth naturally. Think of someone truly confident. They don't convince you of their confidence through constant declaration. They simply embody it through calm presence. They're still, centered, unshakable, and that very stillness draws respect, opportunity, and resources to them. This is the silent magnet in operation. You're going to cultivate this state now. This isn't passivity. This isn't resignation. This is active receptivity, the most powerful form of magnetism. You're going to become so still, so centered in wealth consciousness, that abundance has no choice but to flow to you. Find a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths, releasing all tension with each exhale. Let your body become heavy, relaxed, completely at ease. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do, nothing to prove. Just be. Now bring your awareness to the center of your chest. Imagine there's a small, brilliant point of light there. This is your magnetic center. This is the place from which your true power emanates. Not through force, not through action, but through being. This light is calm, steady, unchanging. It doesn't flicker with anxiety. It doesn't dim with doubt. It simply glows with quiet certainty. This light knows you are wealthy. This light knows you are abundant. This light holds no question about your prosperity. It simply is, and in its being, it attracts. Feel this light growing, not aggressively, but naturally, like dawn brightening the sky. The light expands through your chest, your torso, your whole body. You're becoming radiant with wealth consciousness, not through trying, but through allowing. You're becoming the silent magnet. As you rest in this state, notice something. You're not thinking about money. You're not planning how to get it. You're not worrying about bills. You're not strategizing your next move. You're simply being in a state of wealthy consciousness. And this state, this peaceful, centered, magnetically attractive state, is doing more to draw wealth to you than 1,000 desperate actions could. This is emotional neutrality as power. You're not indifferent about wealth. You've claimed it in consciousness, but you're neutral about when and how it appears. You trust timing. You trust process. You trust that what's meant for you cannot miss you. This trust creates a relaxation that opens the channels. This neutrality removes resistance that blocks the flow. Stay in this stillness for a few moments. Feel yourself as the silent magnet. Feel opportunities being drawn to you. Feel money moving toward you through invisible channels. Feel resources aligning for your benefit, not because you're chasing them, but because you're calling them through your magnetic state of being. When you open your eyes, carry this state with you. Throughout your day, return to the center, return to the light, return to the silent magnet. Especially when you feel yourself moving into anxiety or striving, pause, breathe, drop back into stillness. Let the magnet do its work. This is how the truly wealthy operate, not through constant hustle, but through aligned being. They rest in their power. They act from inspiration rather than desperation. They know that their centered, peaceful state attracts more effectively than their anxious activity. You are the silent magnet. Rest in this truth. Be still and know. Let your calm certainty draw wealth to you effortlessly. This is power. This is mastery. This is the way. Chapter 19, The Master Key Prayer. You've learned many principles on this journey, many techniques, many practices. Now it's time to integrate them all into one unified expression, a master key prayer that unlocks the full potential of your wealth consciousness. This prayer combines gratitude, declaration, visualization, and identity in a single coherent statement of truth. This isn't a prayer of begging. This is a prayer of claiming, a prayer of becoming, a prayer that doesn't ask for wealth but declares yourself as wealth itself. When you speak this prayer with feeling, with conviction, with full embodiment, you activate every principle you've learned simultaneously. Find a quiet space. Stand if you can, or sit with your spine straight. Place your hand over your heart. Feel your power. Feel your presence. You're about to speak the most important words you can speak, words that define who you are at the level of consciousness. Take a deep breath. and speak these words slowly, feeling each phrase resonate through your entire being. I am the consciousness of wealth itself. Pause. Let that sink in. You're not saying you have wealth or you want wealth. You're declaring that you are wealth at the consciousness level. This is identity transformation. This is the ultimate shift. Continue. I am not separate from abundance. I am abundance expressing as this individual being. The infinite supply of the universe flows through me as me, expressing as my life circumstances. Feel the truth of this. Feel the connection. You're not disconnected from Source. You're an expression of Source. Everything Source is, you are because you're made of Source itself. Money is energy, and I am a conscious channel of this energy. It flows to me easily, constantly, and abundantly because this is my nature. I don't chase wealth, I embody it. I don't seek prosperity, I radiate it. Feel yourself as the channel. Feel the energy flowing, not someday, right now, this moment. It's already happening at the consciousness level. I release all beliefs in scarcity. I release all fear about money. I release all ancestral patterns of lack. I am free. I am clear. I am aligned with infinite supply. Feel the release. Feel things falling away. Old patterns, old fears, old limitations. They have no hold on you anymore. I give thanks for my wealth now. I give thanks for the abundance manifesting in my life. I give thanks for opportunities opening, for resources flowing, for prosperity increasing. I give thanks before I see evidence because I know the law is working. Feel the gratitude, real, genuine, deep appreciation for what is and what's coming. Gratitude as the seal on your prayer. I am worthy of wealth. I deserve prosperity. Financial freedom is my birthright. I claim it now. I accept it now. I embody it now. Feel your worthiness, not as something earned, but as something inherent. You exist, therefore you're worthy. It's that simple. I act from inspiration. I follow divine guidance. I trust the invisible hand orchestrating my abundance. I am supported, supplied, and sustained by infinite intelligence. Feel the support. Feel the guidance. Feel yourself held by something greater than your individual self. I am in the flow. I am the silent magnet. I am the state of having. I am wealth consciousness itself, manifesting as this human experience. Feel the integration of everything, all the principles, all the practices, all unified in this moment of declaration. From this moment forward, I live as wealth. I think as wealth. I feel as wealth. I act as wealth, because this is what I am. This is my truth. This is my reality, and so it is. Seal it with these final words, and so it is. Speak them with finality, with certainty, with complete conviction that what you've declared is done. Stand in silence for a moment. Feel the shift. Something has changed in your consciousness. Something has been set in motion that cannot be reversed. You've spoken the master key prayer. You've claimed your identity as wealth itself. Use this prayer daily, morning and evening. Speak it with feeling. Let it become the foundation of your consciousness. Let it reprogram every cell, every thought, every belief. This is your master key. This is your declaration of truth. This is who you are. Wealth consciousness. That's not what you're developing. That's what you are, now and forever. Chapter 20, The Return to Light. You've traveled far on this journey, from the darkness of scarcity thinking to the light of abundance consciousness, from the illusion of lack to the truth of infinite supply, from seeking wealth outside yourself to recognizing it within yourself. And now you're returning, not to where you started, but to who you've always been, beneath the layers of false belief. This is the return to light, the awakening complete, the transformation irreversible. You're not the person who began this journey. That person was operating under a spell, living in a trance, believing lies about money and themselves. But you've broken the spell. You've awakened from the trance. You've discovered the truth. Close your eyes one final time. Take a deep breath. And let me guide you through this last journey, the journey home to your true nature as abundant, prosperous, wealthy consciousness. See yourself standing in darkness. This is where you were. Not external darkness, but the darkness of not knowing, the darkness of believing in scarcity, the darkness of feeling separate from supply. Acknowledge this darkness without judgment. It was simply where you were. It served its purpose. It brought you to seeking, and seeking brought you to finding. Now far in the distance you see light, not harsh light, but gentle, welcoming radiance. This light represents your true nature, your authentic self, the you that exists beyond all false beliefs, the consciousness that has always been wealthy, has always been abundant, has always been connected to infinite supply. Begin walking toward the light. With each step, the darkness falls away. Old beliefs dissolve. Ancient fears evaporate. Inherited patterns of lack release their grip. Step by step, you're moving toward truth, toward freedom, toward the light of your essential being. As you walk, speak these affirmations quietly. Let them guide you home. I am wealthy. Step, feel it. I am abundant. Step, know it. I am prosperous. Step, embody it. I am free. Step, claim it. I am supplied. Step, trust it. I am whole. Step, rest in it. You're getting closer to the light now. It's brighter, warmer, more welcoming. You can feel it on your face like sunlight after a long winter. This light isn't external. It's emanating from within you. You're walking toward yourself, your true self, your wealthy self, the self that has always been abundant but was hidden beneath layers of false conditioning. Now you're standing in the light, full immersion, complete radiance, and you realize you are the light. The light is you. There's no separation. You haven't found something outside yourself. You've remembered something that was always within you. Feel this light in every cell. Feel it in your mind, dissolving old thought patterns. Feel it in your heart, opening channels of receiving. Feel it in your body, relaxing years of tension and fear about money. Feel it in your energy field, broadcasting a new frequency, the frequency of wealth, of abundance, of prosperity. You are no longer the person seeking wealth. You are wealth-seeking expression. You are abundance looking for channels to flow through. You are prosperity waiting to manifest. The shift is complete. The transformation is done. The return to light is accomplished. As you rest in this light, let these final affirmations settle into your consciousness. I am wealthy now and forever. I am abundance itself. I am prosperity consciousness. I am infinitely supplied. I am living as light. The journey is complete, but the expression has just begun. You'll return to your daily life, but you'll return as a different being. You'll see the same world, but through different eyes. You'll encounter the same circumstances, but with a different consciousness. And that consciousness will change everything. The light goes with you. The wealth goes with you. The abundance goes with you. Because they're not separate from you, they are you. Open your eyes slowly. Return gently. Welcome back. Welcome home. Welcome to your life as wealth consciousness. Welcome to the infinite continuum of supply. Welcome to living as light. You are wealthy. You are abundant. You are free. This is not hope. This is not future. This is now. This is truth. This is you. And so it is.